Hello, this time I'll be going over Tiger Pop's Happy Chaos versus Jester's Milia. These are both very high-level players, and Tiger Pop is the best Happy Chaos in Europe, so let's see how they play the matchup.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
So, immediately, both a little defensive. Tiger Pop is slightly more aggressive in trying to walk back into counter poke against Milia's far slash round start, and then Milia is trying to kind of bait around doing Happy Chaos to S round start. So both are kind of defensive. But immediately, Tiger Pop knows that Milia's love to take to the air really fast, so goes for a IED JP to try to catch before a JS startup, or to catch them before they get into the air. But it was a bit too slow, and they both just kind of go right past each other. The major key to this matchup is Curse. Once Curse is on Milia, she's really limited in how she can move around. Jumping around won't help her avoid anything, right? But unfortunately, Tiger Pop does do just fast shot steady aim into focus, which is double digits negative. So it would have been very punishable, but luckily got away with it. But the key is once Curse is on them, right? Just trying to maintain your space, right? Gets it, but just keeps backing up and getting these fast shots off, because Milia's, once they have Curse on them, they know that their best option to get in is just a dash block. So it's unlikely that they're going to be throwing out big commitment moves, because a lot of their main pokes have a good amount of recovery and they're not really the fastest in the world, you know. So he gets off a fast shot, and I think intentionally drops this here to get some Oki, right? Because they got the focus off, and it didn't use a shot here, so now still has 3 bullets, has basically full concentration, and has them in the corner, right? So now you can just loop some pressure, but resources are getting kind of low, so there's a couple different things you could do. You could be a little bit greedy about doing guard crush shots, so do guard crush shot and try to reload a couple extra bullets instead of just the guaranteed ones that you have. But Jester was doing a good job of FDing out, so trying to take that extra space would be much more difficult. If you're trying to be greedy with bullets, you're gonna limit the amount of time that you have with your plus frames, right? So you could be a little bit greedy with these bullets and then use that meter for concentration by just doing 6S and then concentration super, or shot concentration super. But in this case, has guard crush, right? And goes for immediate overhead, which is something I talked about in my pressure guide. Okay. So because of guard crush, they're probably not going to try to take any action, because you're so plus that there's no point in trying to challenge, right? But now it takes all the bullets back, goes for some strike throw pressure. Strike throw pressure is really scary when you have that reticle on you, right? So having 2K shot, 2K 2D shot, all these little frame traps and ways to stop them from just up backing makes it really good. Goes for a safe jump, gets counter hit, super, cleans out the round nicely. Alright, round 2 starts. Both pretty defensive, which is really good for Tiger Pop. Getting to throw out Curse freely in this matchup is extremely good, right? And since throwing Curse forces them into the air because they don't want to get cursed, it makes it really easy to try to air them with JPs. Milia is really good at air-to-airs, but if she forces herself really high up, she doesn't really have anything good and fast for on the way down. A lot of them are for air-to-airs instead of air-to-ground. So getting this JP is really nice. Normally doing 2K into Dust against FD misses, right? But since Tiger Pop dashed up so deep and got that dash momentum with the 2K, it let 5D reach. Gets Curse, still has 3 bullets, so can go for some mix, but something nice that we saw in the last video against Anji, right, was doing, instead of going straight for a meaty, doing dash up FD break to bait out throws, because manually timing a lot of these meaties can be difficult, and it's a really low risk option to just dash FD and then go for a delayed button, especially if you're trying to react to what their wake up option is, right? So again, Jester is doing a really good job of FDing Happy Chaos out, which is preventing a lot of the layer 1 pressure from working out, right? So go for some frame trap stuff, but 2-3-6S missed because of the FD, which actually could have left Happy Chaos punishable, but Jester just really wanted to get out of there, which is fair, especially since could have done, you know, shot. There's a lot of different options I have, but taking away their layer 1 of just free +3 plus a lot of risk is really important. Again, JP gets focus, gets curse, and then gets super. This is pretty much ideally the best case situation for a wall break, right? If you hit them with a 6S, you get a fully charged shot, you get focus, and then you can still combo with 6S. If 6S doesn't wall splat, if it does wall splat, you just get curse and you do super, and that's that, right? If they don't wall splat, you can still just combo straight into shot. So there's no real reason not to do this, right? Now has focus, all the bullets, and has curse. So post wall break, you get a knockdown. Unfortunately, messes up safe jump or mix. It looked. I'm not sure why they did 5P. Typically, if you do IED FD like that, you're gonna do like throw. So I'm not sure why punch was the button of choice. But now it is Amelia's turn to mix. Alright. Probably the only two things I could assume Tiger Pop went here as getting counter hit in the air was either rising JP, just try to catch out IDJH or JS, or air throw. But unfortunately the timing was not right, so got hit. Good FDs. Almost similar to how Umisho plays defensively, right? FD a lot, and then when you see their pressure kind of ending, doing a button. 2S is really good. The only difference we see from Umisho is that they do dash block and then a button, or just really commit to a dash into a button, which probably would have worked in this situation, but just throwing out 2S into shot is still very strong, especially if people like to overcommit to their offense. Unfortunately, roll did not time right. Yeah, that was waiting for that 2D left for a guaranteed burst point, right? If they just tried to burst on the close slash, then could have been baited, but it was good on Tiger Pop to wait that long. Goes for the overhead, and then goes right for the overhead again. And that is, you know, basically 200 meter to do that, but it is very effective. And then just easy loops into the end. Alright, next round start. Tiger Pop has really taken note that Jester has been playing pretty defensively round start, so decides to go fully aggressive, right? IDJ2K, which catches the, you know, kind of stand back, wait around a bit for some whiff punish, which is kind of what Jester put forward as their main round start option. So it was a good idea, but Jester made their way out before they got caught. Counter hit. Unfortunate, missed the shot, right? So burst, steady aim shot, curse, shot, right? Decides actually not to just do regular shot, but go for a steady aim shot. But because they jumped the curse, it wasn't guaranteed, but still looks to be very safe full screen getting off of focus regardless. Curse to back off a little bit more. And this is really important. Jester really does know this matchup, right? FD is so important against defending, right? So really, really good block. IB's the cross-up shot. But now, since they were already a little bit spaced from that roll, doing close slash, blocking that close slash with FD actually prevents Happy Chaos from going to the other side, right? So you need to be really close or have dash momentum, I believe, in order to cross through with the close slash if they're FDing. So good on Jester for forcing that to be same side. Right. Yeah, so look at how far that close slash put you. And then it could have, you know, committed to 6K or 6S and still kept the true string going, but had no bullets, so there was really no point in forcing that turn anymore. Tries to get out a bullet, but gets caught. Good FDs. If Tiger Pop had bullets, you know, could have confirmed off of this JP with, you know, shot, run up, 5k, 6s, whatever. But instead just takes that soft knockdown to get some bullets back. But no curse, doesn't matter. Just takes the that one shot to go 1 mix, right? Guard crush shot, reload that 1 bullet, and then 2k, right? Which is really good because none of the other options would have been real, so Jester was probably trying to up back. But good on Tiger Pop to enforce the only true option. And then immediately goes for a mix, right? So now no bullets and basically no concentration, so decides to take 3 bullets and has that 1 bar now. Could use it to just go straight into concentration super, but instead we'll use it to go for an instant mix, but Jester was ready for it. Rising J2K is pretty good, and people can start to catch on, and when they see the BRC, they kind of know it's coming. But doing dash BRC 2D really smokes them for trying to just react to the BRC. Nice throw. But the other main good thing about this is after you do the J2K, you can do another 50-50, right? You can do airback dash JS into shot or just do 2K. But already you can see how low Tiger Pop's resources are. So instead of going for high or low, which is, you know, a 50-50, hit people with the third option that they never expect of throw, and get another bullet back, go for the dust. Right. Let's say one more time. So gets the wall splat from tap dust into shot. 2 focuses. Only has 2 bullets, but you only need 2 bullets. Blocks it. Uses the right RC to get a bullet back. Unfortunately, still did not have a bullet, right? No bullet, so couldn't wall splat. Nobody blocked that. Mix. Unfortunately, no confirm from Jester. Double air dash throw. Triple overhead. Really, it is very difficult to block. So, again, you can see how important resource management is. Turning a wall splat plus positive bonus, you know, into probably a game-ending situation, into letting your opponent take advantage for 1 second, let their game plan play all the way through, and you lose a round that could have been heavily in your favor. Alright, next round start. Tiger Pop is really aggressive again, right? Knows that Jester likes to either walk back and then jump. So instead of IDJ2K, which kind of only hits on the ground, IDJP is really good for catching jumps, right? Decides not to confirm into anything and just kind of take the soft knockdown. Gets off a counter hit on the frame trap. Goes for tap dust. That actually, I believe, is meter optimal. Tiger Pop already had focus from that shot, so was already pretty much at full concentration. And then after the shot, had 2 bullets left, and it was, you know, at like 80-something% concentration, and just waiting out the wall slump is going to give you the concentration back anyways. So doing each reload input is going to give you a little bit more meter, as you'll see. But since there were only 2 bullets, doing a reload 3 times, see, pretty much puts right at the 50 meter mark, which is a nice little trick. Yeah. I'm not sure if this is, you know, something that Tiger Pop does as like a little trick or just does to kind of save himself. But you see that I'm pretty sure that tap dust would not have actually reached, right? Because actually maybe it would have. I thought that they were FDing. Let's just check one more time. Yeah, I think because they did 2K and then close slash, I think the tap dust would have been too far. So doing tap dust, PRC low, you know, getting that orange just to make people remember to block high, and then hit them low, right? You use it to actually get the resources back. And then I think this is the downfall of the setup that Tiger Pop just did, unless they did it wrong. But it looks like it, because doing close slash jump shot J2K is nice to just kind of reset your height and just add another extra overhead into the situation. But it looks like it pushes air backdash JS out of the way. Maybe you can get around this by doing drift forward, but it looks like it just kind of pushed out and removed the high option. So if they're really on point with FDing, then it kind of leaves just the low option. But even if all of that is true, you know, they're draining so much meter doing that, and look at all the resources that Tiger Pop still has. So either way, even if you just do the J2K just to make them FD a little bit more, I think it's still fine. But just it seems like that weakness of that setup is it kind of prevents the high-low if they're really good about FDing. Little 2K tap dust. Again, builds some meter doing the reloads. Probably could have killed, but then just ends the round with another tap dust PRC forward into low. Good on Tiger Pop. Okay, next round start. Since Jester is pretty much committed to just waiting out and backing off round start, just throwing out curse is really good and puts exactly what Tiger Pop needs into play. They can't jump, so force them right into a mix situation. Unfortunately, doesn't convert into any mix, so mashes out, does some red RC. Actually, it was really close. I think it was a good idea from Tiger Pop to commit to the RC, but right here didn't really need it. Could have just done shot, but it's better to just be safe than sorry, right? Tap dust, going for the wall slump, but gets bursted out. Puts them right back into the corner. Thrown out a tap dust Oki. It's not real. Some good defense. Looks like Jester missed fast overhead. Yeah. Committing to zoning for a second just to get some resources back. Using Scapegoat. Using meter. Only deficit is now bullets, but just cut it back. Right. Alright, yeah, so low bullets. Can be a little greedy every once in a while. Didn't have guard crush shots, so really could have covered a lot of ground, but it's really hard to keep track of everything in the heat of the moment, especially with how much is going on. So able to be a little bit greedy, and since it has focus and bullets, just it runs up and mixes. Like right there, doing the FDs. The only thing that's really gonna save is the chip damage from the shots. But it's not gonna, since you're just doing run up into tap dust, you don't need to worry about being FD'd out because the bullets being FD'd doesn't push you back at all. Alright, out of bullets, gets FD'd, so 2d6s is gonna whiff, but luckily Jester just kind of commits to backing off, so there's no punish there. So throw, one more mix, gets thrown, and OTG. Alright, next round starts. Alright, so now that Tiger Pop has established that they know Jester likes to play defensively round start, and has taken advantage of that through, you know, IEDs, through curse, through, you know, just taking space for themselves. Now it's time to enforce, you know, aggressive pressure. Just, you know that Jester has caught on at this point that Tiger Pop's just being aggressive, so they're going to have to, you know, fight to take some space back. So round start forward slash is a pretty good option, to, especially since Jester would probably expect Happy Chaos to just back off more or do some bigger reach, you know, of a round start. But yeah, it's good on Tiger Pop to enforce different round start options. Tap dust. Goes for, yeah. If you know that players are FDing your pressure a lot, like Jester does, then it's really important to do dash Kara 2-3-6. It's a good way to extend your pressure for a low concentration and low bullet ideas, right? Still keeps you in range. Goes for the meter. Yeah. Since we know already gets concentration, only has 2 bullets to get, just fit in an extra reload for a little bit of extra frame killing and for a little bit extra meter. Nothing crazy, but it's just slight optimizations that can be really useful. Has the 50 meters, so goes for the optimal. Gets 4 reloads off. Goes for the fuzzy using the shot, and that's a really fast round. Alright, next round start. Really kind of crazy round start from both players. Doing steady aim shot without curse round start is extremely slow to be a guaranteed shot. And then doing round start hair car is also a very slow option, but it is faster than steady aim. So Melia gets off the burst bait, which is really good. 10 seconds in, a wall break, and down to like 35% health. Trying to reset back to neutral with curse to get a major game plan going again, but gets caught and gets retouched. Unfortunate round for Tiger Pop, but well played by Jester. Alright, now that Tiger Pop's aggressiveness has actually been punished, it's time to, back off and reinforce that you have a bunch of different options you can use. And since Jester takes to the air, it avoids curse, but you can still get steady aim shot off. Unfortunately, drops the combo, gets 2k and 2d FD'd, which means that roll is not going to go through. But regardless, you still get to get your pressure going, still have plus frames, so you still get a strike throw. We'll tap Dust on Oki, which Tiger Pop loves, but it is really not that safe and requires a lot of specific timing, so looks like this time he's going to get gold bursted for it. Could have been a really nice confirm, but that would have been pretty difficult. Gets curse back on them, running around with gun out, with curse out is pretty nice, Especially if they commit to an option, it's extremely good for whiff punishing. So Far Slash does have a bit of recovery, so just jumping around and shooting them out of committing to something like that is very nice. Alright, gets Wire Seed out of pressure. Nice air throw tech. A 2D into some slight optimization into an easy kill. Alright, round start success. That was a really funky hitbox, but success is really good, especially if you know that they like to back off, just walk back and try to wait for a whiff punish, or if they like to jump. Success will cover both of those, and it's pretty good. Interesting routing choice. Unfortunately drops it. Nice air to ground. JS is very good for air to ground. It's thrown. It's thrown again. Tries to up back out of the throw into H disc pressure, since that is jumpable if they try to go for the left right. But good on Jester for predicting the jump. TK overhead. No confirm though. And just kind of since it's round 1 and life is pretty close, it's good to burst. Go straight into steady aim. Could do some resource building, but already has focus and a bar, so there's no real reason to not do steady aim right now. But could have done, steady aim into curse into shot, but that probably would have used up all the bullets. So it was a nice decision to just kind of go straight into winning neutral, right? That wasn't real. Like there was a big gap between this, right? Actually, never mind. If you do a guard crush shot and then you do fast cancel into dash 5H, it's pretty much unavoidable. Nice tech. Wire C. Since Jester FD'd, again, roll's not going to cross up and now has no bullets. And again, a really good FD usage by Jester, so these mix-ups just aren't working, and now Tiger Pop is out of bullets and basically out of concentration. And then, again, because this FD usage is so good, can't really end the turn safely unless you use, like, Scapegoat, and since Tiger Pop ended with 2-3 success and it whiffed, Jester knew to do dash up 2P, but didn't really capitalize too much on it, really used it instead as like a way to start the pressure. 2P and then IED. Which did work, but since Tiger Pop jumped, it didn't really convert into anything. Caught the up back with close slash, and good on Jester. Alright. Crazy round start by Jester. TK Bad Moon, maybe to catch like a dash block low, but Tiger Pop has pretty much always been aggressive or just backing off, so unfortunately I don't think that was the best potential option, and Tiger Pop doing round start curse catches a lot of what Jester has been doing, so that was good. Now that Curse is on them, gets to start pressure really fast, gets the cross through. Unfortunately, mistimes the meaty. That's a nice cross through by Amelia. Force block some pressure. Nice block on the low. Close slash into TK Bad Moon versus low. Well, gets clipped overhead. Good block on the delayed overhead. It is pretty risky to wire C on the 2P, but I think Tiger Pop was just really trying to get out of there. So gets to start their turn. And this is where the adjustment comes from Tiger Pop. So we've seen many, many times now that all these rolls have not been working out because of FD, but this time does a button into 6K, right? 2K, 6K, shot to get plus frames, and since the shot won't push him back, you do a little micro dash into roll to get the cross throw. Get a bunch of bullets back, start some pressure, throw, tap dust, throw, tap dust, tap dust. Yeah, Tiger Pop loves doing tap dust. Especially just having the ability to do tap dust, shot, is just extremely effective. I mean, because every time you do shot, you can do low or throw as well. It's really difficult to deal with. Alright, round start far slash gets clipped by a more aggressive round start by Jester. Trying to get out of some Milia Oki, but gets clipped. You know, forces you with corner pressure. Really doesn't want to block Milia, you know. And getting put into these 50-50s and strong pressure is definitely something you want to avoid, but sometimes you do just need to guess. Especially if they don't have meter to, you know, push their overhead, then it's better to just block than get hit by close slash. Even if you have burst, you really don't want to use it, especially if you're down to the last round and you're already at a life deficit. You want to really make sure that it's a good hit to burst. Okay, manages to get out. Avoids hair car. Yeah, it wasn't a bad idea from Tiger Pop to, you know, get cursed, get focused, and try to back off, but doing hair car just gets, you know, all the way across the screen so fast after focus that I don't even think fast shot would have finished or would have caught the startup. Right, so just quickly, yeah, especially with how big of a gap this was. Doing curse and then focus, like Milia's not even in any block stun right now, so doing dash up hair card, there's no way that there was any option to avoid besides just jumping, I guess. But yeah, committed to the back dash and got clipped, and that was the end of the round. Nope. Round start dash success. Starting to be aggressive again after Jester has kind of started being more aggressive round starts. Yeah. Again, I think this is what I was talking about, having the weakness of the setup, right? Doing J2K into air backdash JS missed again. 2K 5D, get resources, gets clipped, meaty. Yeah, this time adjustment by Tiger Pop, which is really nice, to do air dash 4, which looks like it frame trapped and just ends the round really quick. Right, yeah, dash success has been really working well for Tiger Pop, but Milia does have far slash and 2K as pretty good options, but yeah, success just beats so much of what Milia wants, so it's really good. Unfortunately, mistimes the next success. Good tech. We'll trade this reset back to neutral. Just go back a little bit. So guard crush into strike throw, right? Classic. Yeah, unfortunately misses the steady aim shot, didn't charge it for long enough. So did fast cancel and still got to take the turn even though there was no real enforcement of it. 2K shots, yeah, nice poke out of the 2K tap dust. Burst just to set up the situation. Doing scapegoat and standing in it is a very strong option against Milia, right? especially when she's jumping around. If she doesn't really have any multi-hit options, so she could do like, you know, JH into Capel, but if she does JH, then the entire, you know, hit lag of it and the startup of Capel is still vulnerable. So doing, you know, 5p is really good in that situation. But if they're really close, then you can just go for like a close ash and get a better reward. But, you know, 5p is a lower risk and it still leads to a really good combo on air hit. Strike throw. Yeah, nice throw bait. Notice that Chester kind of been... Yeah, they teched the first one, got hit by the second, so they're already scared because you still have the meter to convert straight into a wall splat from it at this point, and that would lead into probably a game-ending situation. So, counter hit on that. Nice. It's a completely burst safe combo. There's really nothing they could do. It would either be shot into super, or they burst here and then they just get hit by another one and they're dead. Thank you for watching.